Hi students, today I will explain about psychosis and also about schizophrenia. Okay, before going to psychosis, so let me explain a few words about the schizophrenia. Here, schizophrenia means it is one of the mental illness that causes the condition of psychosis. Is it clear? So, the psychosis is caused by the mental illness called schizophrenia. The major difference between the psychosis and schizophrenia is the symptoms appearing here. So what are the symptoms we are seeing in the psychosis is delusions, hallucinations, thought disorder and aggression or agitations. But here the difference between the schizophrenia is schizophrenia also have other symptoms rather than psychosis. So what is psychosis? Yes, it is a loss of contact with the reality. Means the patients with this mental disorder or this who are experiencing this psychiatric conditions, they have the they are not able to have in contact with the reality. They don't know what's happening in their real life. So 12 to 23% of the people with psychotic symptoms have at least at any point of time they'll experience this type of symptoms in their lives. Means whatever means at any part of their life they can experience it, whether it may be short or it may be long period of time, they'll experience these type of symptoms. But here not all the people will have this disorder. Only less than 4% will meet the criteria for the psychotic disorder. Remaining will recover from these conditions. So here what are the signs and symptoms? Delusions, hallucination, thought disorder and agitation, or we can also call that as aggression. And now what are the causes which is causing what are the causes involved in this psychosis? We can call this as a primary psychosis and secondary psychosis. So psychosis is caused by a primary disease which we call that as a mental illness, and the secondary disease means some other underlying diseases which leads to this condition. So what are the illness associated with the primary psychosis is schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, schizophreniform and delusional disorder. Okay, next one, the illness associated with the secondary psychosis means what are the diseases involved to get the psychosis condition is thyroid diseases, adrenal disease, hepatic encephalopathy, Wilson's disease, Alzheimer's disease and Huntington's disease and stroke. These are the diseases associated with the secondary psychosis condition. But here as I told you before, psychosis have symptoms, main symptoms like hallucinations and delusions. But the schizophrenia is also having other more other symptoms rather than this psychosis. So if you see what are the symptoms we are observing here is the first one, as I told you, delusions. So delusions means we know that it is a strong belief, means which is a false belief, strongly held false belief that are not typical, means it is not related to the person's background or culture. But the delusions here, the delusions are categorized as bizarre and non-bizarre type of delusions. What do you mean by bizarre? For example, if we see, if the person thinks that their family member or has been replaced by someone else, means that they are having that false belief. What is the false belief they are having? Means they'll continuously think that there any one of their family members are replaced by some other member. And what is non-bizarre means the person may think that their partner is cheating on them. Even if he or she is continuously watching them, but they may feel that they are cheating them. So the next symptom is hallucination. Okay, what is hallucination? Yes, hallucination means it is a wakeful sensory experience. Means actually sometimes hallucinations means it is they can experience that something is happening in front of them. And the next one is thought disorder. Thought disorder means it is just disorganized of speech, and it includes a lot of misleading things. And agitation means that nothing but a state of anxiety or nerves, means like excitement feeling, which also known as a state of irritation or restlessness. And aggression means we know that it is a feeling of anger. It can refer to any range of behaviors that can result in both physical and psychological harm to yourself. Means due to that anger it may result to it means they may cause physical harm or psychological, means mental harm to themselves. This is about the aggression, means these are the symptoms of the psychosis. Okay, next we will see about what is schizophrenia. The schizophrenia name itself refers that schizo means split and phrenia means mind. Here we can refer that schizophrenia means splitting of mind, but this splitting of mind it doesn't means that means it doesn't means a split personality. Split personality is different and splitting of mind is different. Here we can fragmented or scattered pattern of thinking, means a typical pattern of thinking. Actually we can say that schizophrenia is a symptoms, means it have all type of symptoms that may be associated with different symptoms associated with different individual patients. Here patients may also experience different symptoms, although these symptoms can broadly categorized into three major cases. What are these? Means positive symptoms, negative symptoms and cognitive symptoms. Okay, first let's see about what are the positive symptoms. These positive symptoms together we can call that as a psychotic symptoms, means entirely it related to the psychotic behavior. So the first one is delusions. As I told you previously, it is a purely false belief that the patient might feel very strongly about that even they won't change their mind if they having any proof or evidence against it, they won't change their mind. They'll have the strongly false belief on it. And what are the and also there also has some delusions are of three types, like means delusions of control, means they can feel that somebody is having their means they can think that something outside or any force or person or thing is controlling their actions, means someone is controlling among them. This is about the delusions of control. And delusions of reference means nothing but here we can see that for example they can means they might think that it is insignificant remarks are redirected, means for example if you see a newscaster is speaking directly to them through the TV, means they are assuming that they are directly talking to themselves. And the next symptom is hallucination. Hallucination is I told that they'll imagine themselves like someone is talking to them, or they can be kind of sensation that which is not actually present. They can see for example even if it something is not there also, they can imagine that that is having there, means visual imagination. And they can also experience sometimes they can also experience auditory sensations, means like someone is having sounds, means they are hearing some voices, or someone is commanding them. So this is the auditory sensations. And the next one is disorganized speech. So what is disorganized speech here? It means a random jumbling of words. Means they don't have any relation together, no, not at all matched to their content, or no relation, but they'll talk like something else. And what is the next one is disorganized behavior. Disorganized behavior means it exhibits like bizarre or silly behavior, like means they are out of their content, and there is not at all they are having any purpose of doing that. For example, if a person is suffering from these conditions, they will wear multiple layers of jackets when even in a hot summer days also. Means they don't know what's happening there. And next one is catatonic behavior. Here it is related with their movements or posture or responsiveness. Means they might be super resistant to moving, or they may be unresponsive of stupor. This is about the positive symptoms. So what are the negative symptoms? The next symptom is negative symptoms, which is means removal of the normal processes. Here it is like what are the normal, everything is decreased or reduced. So the first one is decrease in the emotions they can express. And the next one is the loss of interest in the things which are once they found interesting. Now at present, previously they are fond of something, but now they are very they are having the lack of interest in same thing. And one of the most type of negative symptom is called the flat effect. Means they where in this flat effect we can see that they don't respond with an emotion or reaction that seems like for example, if they saw something very rude or unexpectedly, if they saw something, for example, if a monkey is playing in their room, they might simply sit and watch like an idol. Means they won't react, and they will behave like nothing was happening in front of them. And the next type of negative symptom we will call that as alogia. We can also call this as a poverty of speech. Means which is lack of content in their speech. So somebody ask them like do you have children? Means what they'll reply, they might respond yes, but what is the actual reply they have to give? Means instead of yes, instead of this answer, what's the actual answer they have to give is yes, I am having children, one boy or two girls, means whatever it. But here patients who are having these kind of symptoms, they'll decrease means they'll avoid the content of their speech. They'll simply give one word answers like yes, yes, not also I am having also, yes, means not completely having, means they are not able to, they are unable to speak completely. And the next type of negative symptom is avulsion. It is decrease in the motivation to complete certain goals. If means someone might stay at home for long period of time without doing any work, or without trying to make friends, or to go friends, means to go work, to do work, or to talk with others. Means they'll simply sit as alone. And the next one is cognitive symptoms. Here things like they are not able to remember some things, and they won't learn any new things, and they can't understand the others so easily. These symptoms are more subtle, though it is more difficult to notice and might be detected if they have only specific tests are performed. Means for example, they are very unable to give, means they are unable to remember their phone number or address also. Such a type of symptom. If you go for the faces, people with schizophrenia seem to experience a cycle through 3 phases in this particular pattern. The first phase is they can experience a prodromal phase, and the second phase is active phase, and the third phase is residual phase. This is a cyclic process. What happens in the what happens here is here it may often seem similar to the other mental disorders like depression or anxiety also. And here the first what happens in the active phase is what happens in the prodromal phase is the patient might become withdrawn and spend most of their time alone, and they can experience other mental disorders. And after experiencing these symptoms, they will enter into the active phase. When they enter into the active phase, they will experience all the symptoms which are more severe. What are the symptoms they will experience? Means positive symptoms like delusions, hallucination, and behavioral changes, something like disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, and the last one is catatonic behavior. So here when they enter into this means when they are after experiencing the active phase, following this active phase, they often enter into the residual phase. What happens here is they might exhibit the cognitive symptoms, means they are not able to concern or concentrate or becoming withdrawn against the prodromal phase, means again they are entering into the prodromal phase. And then the next one is, so this is a cyclic process. The first one active phase, prodromal phase, active phase, and residual phase. Here in active phase, the patient may experience positive symptoms, and in third phase, that is residual phase, the patient will experience cognitive symptoms. And here what about this diagnosis? Means the patient need to be diagnosed with two of the following symptoms. If we see here, the two of the following symptoms is positive symptoms, that is delusions, hallucination, disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, catatonic behavior, and the next one is negative symptoms. Any of means either the positive symptom or they can experience negative symptom, or both of them, any of the following or both of the following. Especially, but even some patients have cognitive symptoms who are not specifically needed for the diagnosis as well. Means if we clearly see here, the first one is two of the following, means either positive symptom or the last one negative symptom. And in the positive symptom, the first three delusions, hallucinations, and disorganized speech, the patient may experience at least one of these symptoms. So we can check for them, we can diagnose based on this any of these first three symptoms, and also for the negative symptoms. And some patients have cognitive symptoms who are not specifically needed for the diagnosis. Although for diagnosis there must be ongoing for at least 6 months, means we have to observe for the at least 6 months. During these 6 months of phase, the patient may experience the active phase only alone. The active phase itself, for it will take 1 month period of time. Means definitely the patient will have 1 month period of time for the active phase for experiencing the symptoms. And the next one is, finally the symptoms cannot be attributable to another conditions like drug abuse. This is about the diagnosis. Next one, cause. If you see about the causes, the main cause of the schizophrenia is unknown, but still the signs and symptoms are very unique to the humans, and it is also hard to imagine or notice in the animal models like rats or mice. And what happens here is, there is some other clue that the majority of antipsychotic medications, that here these antipsychotic medications are improving the schizophrenia symptoms. How it is improving means, by blocking the dopamine receptors, D2 receptors. These D2 receptors means which reduces the dopamine levels in the neurons. This proof will suggest that there may be schizophrenia but has something to do with the increased levels of dopamine. Means schizophrenia has related with the increased level of dopamine. And these medications are neither universally or nor completely effective, but they don't work for everyone with the schizophrenia. Means every patient with the schizophrenia are not effective with the antipsychotic medications. Means some may be effective and some of the patients may not be effective with this kind of treatment. They may be response with the other kind of the therapy. And one of the most effective antipsychotic drugs like clozapine, which is a weak D2 antagonist, this suggests that other neurotransmitters like norepinephrine or serotonin and GABA are also involved here in this schizophrenia. And if you go for the twin studies, it shows that their support for the genetic basis, even these do not have been these genes are not directly linked with the schizophrenia. And some other environmental factors, that is early or prenatal exposure to the infections or any autoimmune disorders like celiac diseases. And if you go for the epidemiology, these diseases mostly occurs in men rather than women. Next, if we go for the treatment, the treating psychiatric patient is very difficult rather than compared to the other diseases. So antipsychotics are the best medications used here. They are very effective, and but also some considerations are there, that is cost of patients. All the patients might not be affordable with the cost, and these drugs are having so many side effects like tolerance, dependence and withdrawal symptoms. So all the patients are not also tolerable with these drugs. So if we see here, these are the typical antipsychotic drugs, that is typical neuroleptic drugs, that is chlorpromazine, haloperidol, sulpiride and trifluperazine. These are the, and remaining like olanzapine, quetiapine, risperidone, ciprasidone, aripiprazole, amisulpride. These are also the which are the drugs of under the category of typical neuroleptics. And what are the atypical antipsychotics is clozapine, olanzapine, risperidone. These are the atypical antipsychotic medications. This is about the treatment of schizophrenia.